Welcome again to another day of the Festive 500. The last ride I did, 90 kilometers long. I didn't video it. I just wanted to get out there on my gravel bike and try and hammer out some miles. 90 kilometers. Definitely did not realize how fun some of the rails to trails got as you went out like further. The ground somehow becomes this like fun, full whoops section that when you're not tired, you kind of like old school mountain bike over. On the way back, slightly hateful. Yesterday, my creative side took over and I spent a good portion of the day inside playing around with a video that I want to make that I can't keep creating this week because I've been trying to do this goal. Today will be the day that I solidify my failure of the Festive 500, and I could not be happier about that outcome. I set out to go and ride all these different kinds of bikes, try and do different types of riding. Proves to be significantly harder to do it that way than just spend all your time on the road. Today, I'm gonna go play around on my mountain bike. I'll likely only get like 20-ish kilometers done, and I'm gonna have more fun than everybody else who's suffering on the cold, wet, windy roads, and I'm just as happy. And I've been sharing these dang pedals between a number of different bikes, which is proving to be, as I already knew, so unbelievably annoying. All right, let's go. That sucks. It's pouring out now. With Dan. What happened there?
Did you see the front flip?
Like,
I'm trying to pop off the rock and I hit this.
did you
Front flip?
I don't think I got the front flip. I certainly got the noise. It's a tough berm. It'll get you.
Well, it's just, that's what I did, right? I
Well,
took the front wheel off this and I went into there. Let's try that again.
Okay.
Without hitting it.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
Not Colin.
Why not? Here, I'll do it.
You do it. Yeah, with a bit of commitment. What? Not even a single pedal?
What do you mean? No.
All my feet in the butt. No, every time I hit the bike.
It's not impossible.
How much energy being expelled. Imagine being a one-arm cyclist.
Okay, so that's the loop. We can start going back now. I'd like to turn this off. Well, I personally think that was a resounding success. What? $1,000. Tours. Let's break into the jerky.
It's like dog treats.
It's not. It doesn't look like a dog. Well, it kind of does.
Yes, it does. All right.
That's pretty good.
It doesn't taste like a dog treat,
Oh, it's just,
but
well, maybe it does.
the texture is.
That's a pass. That was a 21.03 kilometer mountain bike ride of pure unadulterated fun with an estimated power average of 83 watts. Yeah. Okay. So the subject I'm gonna finish this video on is gonna seem somewhat left field, but trust me, it's not. So, as I know a lot of you are now aware, this, my 79 XS400 made by Yamaha, it has been making some appearances on the channel in the last few weeks. Today, no exception. There has been, rightfully so, some requests to kind of like go over what exactly my XS400 is. So first and foremost, I think it's important to note that there is nothing changed on this thing, like engine-wise. This is the same engine, it's the same carburetor, it's kind of the same thing this area-wise as when it was made new, besides the fact that I put pod filters on, which likely actually impeded performance more so than helped it. But that's never really the end goal. It's an XS400. As my friend Nick says, it's always going to be slow. I know it's always going to be slow. Therefore, my idea with it long ago, when I first built it, was, okay, what can you improve to make it more fun if it's not going to be faster? And of course, my mind immediately went to brakes and suspension. So the first suspension mod that I did to this bike was swap from smaller stanchioned XS400 drum brake front wheel and fork to this, I don't know, mid-70s CB 550 fork, front wheel, and brake. And eventually later on, the ability to go with this Cognito Moto custom billet aluminum triple tree. More importantly, in the rear end, I was using some cheap eBay shocks that felt okay. I mostly just wanted to raise the rear end to make it look a little more modern. And I decided one day that I wasn't really crazy about trying to build something that actually performed decent on turns with like cheap eBay parts. I want to legitimize this build and get rid of any sort of like cheap knockoff parts and go for the good stuff. So I ordered these Fox Podium Rs, and that was kind of the beginning of my like true eye-opening moments of how important good tunable suspension actually is. So for the longest time, while I had been riding this thing pretty frequently, I had sort of been setting every bit of suspension that has ever been in my life, cars, bicycles, motorcycles in this case, basically to the stiffest, hardest, like most harsh settings that you could basically have it at. For some reason in my head, without research, I thought, you know, hard hits, like hitting the ground hard, was what performance was. Similar to what like people thought about road bike tires for the longest time. It's like ride tubulars at, if you can get it up to like 200 PSI, you know, that road buzz feeling, that's the feeling of fast. That was basically what I went for with everything. Out of excitement, those came out of the box directly onto the bike, went and did similar routes to what I've always done, and just getting ready to go over some of the bumps that I'm like usually ready for, kind of like glided over them. And that was kind of like a light bulb moment where I was like, oh, is this what suspension is supposed to do? Like, have I been doing all of this wrong forever? But more importantly, it opened my eyes up to the importance of saying yes to this fork. When my friend Nick offered it to me, I was certainly reluctant at the time because I had never owned anything that nice, and I was like, I don't know. But the minute this thing went on to the white felt that it donned for quite a while, that same realization happened again. Riding over like heavily rooty trails and just like expecting that hard edge hit that you like every time you have your tires up too high and your suspension too stiff, everything wrong. Expecting that and having like a nice like ride over those obstacles. And I again had that like, oh, whoa, this has some merit. And I've like found myself infatuated watching like slow-mo clips of suspension working, whether it's mountain biking or like MotoGP style racing. Like if you ever take the time to watch the Isle of Man TT, you watch those bikes and you watch the suspension working so hard on these public roads, riding so ungodly fast. You're just like, man, that is what it's supposed to be doing. And the fact that I have any interest in it at all stems from buying these Fox Podium Rs and building this motorcycle. And I'm like dying to go experience that again because I miss it. Also, yeah, no, not also. Yeah.